So I just have to mention and ask, like, am I the only one who looks at the scene of this man popping these pills, trying to be like that big dick energy, like, ooh, one pill will turn anyone crazy, I'm gonna take a bunch, but if you really go back and watch the scene, he takes like 2 pills, the rest because he aggressively shakes, they all fall on the ground, and then one of the pills that's left in the bottle floats to our boy's feet. But I can't be the only one being like, this man's trying to look a lot cooler than he actually is. Really just looks like he took a couple Tylenol. Yes, he ended up looking like a Street Fighter character, which, to his credit, looked pretty cool. But it doesn't change the fact that maybe Buddy shouldn't have been so overreactive and, shaking the pill bottle, and maybe if he took all of them, he would have lasted a couple more seconds before nuclear Armageddon popped up. But I have to say, this episode was wild. The best way to sum this episode up is that Sid is the ultimate heartbreaker, that he is having the most fun in his new world. He is a man who wanted to stop a nuclear bomb with his hand, and due to limitations of the human body on planet Earth and being hit by a truck because Truck-kun needed to isekai his next victim, he then ended up in a world where magic actually exists, and that insane Chuny dream can actually become a reality. And to see this man go from the most crazy lunatic in his original world, where he just casually, by day, was a nobody background character, at night he was hunting general bandits, playing pretend and massacring people, to now literally uncovering a cult without even realizing it, and to see the escalation of him literally launching a nuclear disaster, to then ending the episode with heartbreak before getting completely sliced and diced, because, to her defense anyway, I mean, it was kind of a douchebag move with how he did it, but it was funny for an anime watcher. I just love what Eminence Shadow is doing because it really feels different. It's not one of those like fantasy shows, not one of those reincarnated in another world shows, where you just look at it and say, oh, this exactly reminds me of so-and-so. Like, I love the fact that you don't really see this a lot, where you have someone who not, like, just had those fantasy dreams. Like, that's a core thing, whether Chuny or just naturally isekai characters, right? They want to be a hero. That's a lot of their archetypes. The difference that's always made Sid pop is the fact that he was literally insane in his first world. He actually he could do stuff. He could kick ass, he could take names, he was beating fools with crowbars, right? He was an absolute lunatic who may have took down arguably bad people, but the dude was crazy. And I think by putting him in this world and making him oblivious to the conspiracies and thinking everyone else is in on the play, where, oh, you guys are going back to your day life after you're done playing around with me. No, Sid, you're literally uncovering the wildest cult conspiracy, and seemingly everyone's in on it but you, where you just think these are general-ass bandits that you're killing, and yeah, this is some dude probably trying to cop a feel on a princess, but you know what, this is just a great excuse for me to show off my new cool moves. And I love the fact that they literally unleash like a barrier, right? It looks to me like, oh, we're in a barrier because what's about to happen, should you not have that, literally everyone else would be killed. And to Sid's credit, honestly, he ended up protecting our princess over here, but to see the overall scope and the fact that what I love about this is that they didn't blue balls us with the explosion. I've seen a lot of shows, even outside of anime, where they have something that's supposed to be atomic, right? Something that's like, holy shit, look at that explosion. And they give you the width of it, but then it just disappears. Here, it lingered. You could feel the heat from the screen in some ways with the way shit was shaking, and like they just detailed it in such a great way. And then it slowly shrank into nothing. There was just a lot of attention to detail in something that could have just been pure flash, but instead of doing that, they gave it flash, but then they added those like little realistic touches to really show you the devastation of what he just did. And I thought it was great because back on the train in last week's episode, she's talking about the sword style that she has no confidence in. Sid ends up complimenting it. So after seeing what he was able to do, she picks up her sword and feels confident as her sister comes in and they embrace each other. And then to see him casually shut down, like you knew he wasn't going to accept, but I was curious to see if maybe he would like somehow like twist it in a way, and I wasn't exactly sure what that way could be, but Sid's such a wild card of a character, I don't know what the hell he's going to do at any particular moment. So I love the fact that when he just immediately puts the thumb down, she just blushes, is like, oh shit, I mean, we're already seeing girls basically get wet and blush from nuclear disasters. I wouldn't be shocked if she also was okay. No, she then slices and dices, and then to make it all funnier, I love the fact that they show a character who basically bumped into him, he's covered in blood, and then she starts blushing, and I'm like, why are these girls so goddamn crazy? but thank you for making him as such because it's entertaining as shit. The interesting thing that was probably the most shocking about the episode was Alpha, because you have this big hunchback Notre Dame character who, honestly, that entire fight reminded me of Attack on Titan. You essentially have like a Titan level creature in terms of like a miniature one. You have characters in like these green cloaks jumping off rooftops, they're trying to slice and dice. It was just really cool. But when ultimately we have a girl save, I mean, that was kind of interesting because that's one of the biggest glow ups in anime history. Because even if you don't see the face in the moment, I mean, you go from that weird creature to obviously a normal girl. And it was an interesting turn of events that I wasn't quite expecting. And it was really fun because they had some fun with the visual effects. You have like, at first I thought it was going to be like a fire sword because it initially starts up red, but then you just see like this energy wave just kind of bouncing around. It was just really fun to see the different ways they're having fun with the action while like making it feel fancy but still have it like grounded in swordplay. One of the most like big balls things I think Sid did in this episode, which is very easy to miss, when you have the prince like basically like frantically swiping at him with his sword, if you actually go back and watch both sides, like just only focus on Sid's side, only focus on his side, while watching him just frantically like swing his sword, Sid doesn't even move his sword once. Like, it is the most still blade you will ever see. But then when you focus on the other guy, he's just like swinging and you can tell he's like giving it his all, putting all his weight behind each slash. And Sid's not even budging a muscle. Like, the dude is just so OP. And it was so crazy watching a man go from so smug to, oh shit, what did I do? To then powering up, you know, his second win comes in thinking he's Street Fighter character now. And then just seeing how casually he got completely obliterated. And that's what I like about this show, is that it can just be action-packed. It can be funny moments, heart-tugging moments that then Sid just completely flips on its head so it doesn't go in the cliche direction. And it all boils down to Sid, a man who is just playing pretend, doesn't take this shit seriously like everyone else, pretty much thinks everyone's in on the joke or in on the, you know, the play session, and those that aren't, he just thinks, oh, the person I'm fighting trying to protect a princess here, he just seems like a douchebag, he's probably not that great of a person, kidnapping, that's not cool, but it's not gonna relate to a cult, nothing's gonna relate to a cult because the cult doesn't exist. But everyone else knows about the cult, and it's just, to see how they continue to have fun with this is just so goddamn good, and I just love the attention to detail in the smallest of things, and honestly, the overall magical effects that the show has going on, we've seen a good variety. Atomic bombs, energy swords blasting every which direction. They have a lot of fun with the visual flair of it. And it's just, I appreciate episode 1 all the more episodes I see in this new world, because episode 1 has such a generic feel, but it has like that fishbowl lens where things just feel distorted, but you can tell it's supposed to be normal, but something's off. And now when you look at these episodes and go back and rewatch episode 1 like I did earlier this week, you really get a sense of like the visual shift in style is just so masterfully done. I couldn't have asked for any better. But of course, I'm going to leave another episode very impressed. It was fun. It was just awesome. And I'm excited for more. But thoughts, feelings, theories, if you got any on where we might go from here, do let me know. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And of course, subscribe if you're new around here. You can also consider supporting the Patreon if you want to see my full live reaction to today's episode and also get video shoutouts like Rogue Knight is getting today. So I appreciate the support. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.